by Jewish prophets, Jewish scripture, and by other Jews, like Rabbi Heschel, who marched with him, and Jewish martyrs who gave their lives. Even Kivi Kaplan, who was the president of the NAACP for years. In fact, my friends, you might not know this, even Superman is Jewish. How do I know? Got to use proof, right? His father's name, anybody know? Hallel. Hallel means the voice of God in Hebrew. El is God. He came from a distant land and sought refuge. He changed his name, hid his identity, and tried to fit in. He fought for truth and justice in the American way. Jews have fought for the country where they ended up. His parents were Jewish. He was created by two Jewish men, two Jewish comic creators. If he has Jewish parents, of course, he's got to be Jewish. But I'll tell you one thing, his adoptive mother, not Jewish. Would a Jewish mother allow her son to be flying around in the freezing stratosphere in a little tiny outfit like that? A nefta gatag, it would never happen. No, she was not Jewish. But even though the United States has incorporated Jewish values, our job isn't done. We still need as a country to be rejuvenated. J-E-W. We live in a country now where our democracy has too often been hijacked, where the government that was supposed to be of the people, by the people, and for the people is now of the wealthy, by the well-connected, and for the special interests. We have a saying that the opposite of pro is con. And so we ask, what is the opposite then of progress? You can answer that question for me. Some say we don't need Judaism anymore. It's already been incorporated into Christianity and Islam. And it's true, they've incorporated many of our great teachings. But the Christian religion is different. It teaches original sin. We teach original goodness. Yes, it's true that it has a lot of Judaism in it. In fact, they use the Jewish Bible. They pray to a Jewish God. Even God's son is Jewish. Reminds you of the story of a man who was so sad because his son has decided to convert. He prays to God, God, help me, my son wants to convert. He says, your son. Islam has incorporated a lot of Judaism. The word Quran comes from the Hebrew Koreh. The one who proclaims the prayer is the Hazan. They give money to charity in the form of zakat or tzedakah. The word for blessed is Mubarak or Barak, like our Baruch. But even though it has a lot of Judaism in it, it's still not the original. And it still has picked up a lot of the intolerance that Judaism outgrew, and still believes too often that violence is the way. My friends, religion still needs Judaism. As a British poet once said, as long as the world lasts, all who want to make progress and righteousness will come to Israel for inspiration, as the people who have the sense for righteousness most glowing and strongest. Look around this auditorium, and you will see a bunch of people who do not think like other people do. We do not think like the average person. We do not think that the world is destined to be the same way it is. We do not believe that our fate is in the stars. We come here on a Friday the 13th and we don't have any fear whatsoever. We do not suffer from tridecaphobia or any other type of phobia, because we believe that we can chart our own destiny and write our own future. But not everybody accepts this mission. Many people decide that they don't want to necessarily follow in the Jewish tradition, and so there are some who think that Judaism may disappear. I happen to be an optimist. I believe that just as the Jewish people created a new Jewish state in the land of Israel, we can also create a new Jewish state of mind. A Jewish state of mind which says now that we are doing well in the United States and we don't have to accept second-class citizen, we can be what we were meant to be, a light unto the nations, and we can now have an opportunity to fulfill our destiny. Why have the Jewish people survived? I asked it on Rosh Hashanah. I'll try to explain again today. Another one of my reasons is that what Schopenhauer said, more powerful than all the armies on earth, is an idea whose time has come. And our idea, the Jewish idea, is that inside of us is a purity of soul, a goodness that is yearning to get out, and that we have the capacity to improve. We come here and here at Kol Nidre to recharge our batteries. Some of us have been afflicted by such hatred and hostility from the outside world that they say we Jews need to concentrate on ourselves. We need to focus on ourselves. Nobody else is looking out for us, so we don't have the luxury of trying to protect or trying to worry about what's going on in Darfur or in Syria or in Biafra or anywhere else. Some people think we should imitate others who operate only out of self-interest, but my friends, we Jews answer to a higher authority. That higher authority was a Hebrew national. His name was Moses. And Moses said to love the stranger as yourself. We Jews are like Prometheus. He brought fire down from the heavens to be a light unto mankind, and he was punished viciously by the gods for it. And so the Jews too have been punished. But we still continue with our mission, because a Jew who doesn't want to help others and is just thinking about other Jews is like an eagle who doesn't want to fly, or a cougar who doesn't want to run. It's a contradiction in terms. God commanded his first command, let there be light, and then he turned to the Jewish people and said, let you also be a source of light. Source of light that God created, my friends, which is about 93 million miles away, does something remarkable. Takes hundreds of millions of tons of hydrogen per second, converts it into helium, and in the process gives off a little bit of energy, a little bit of light. It combines atoms together. And we Jews combine atoms together. Adam was the first human, and in Hebrew, Adam means a human being. We take human beings and try to unite human beings together, and in the process, we give off light and energy. And when the process comes to a halt within the sun, what happens is something very, very sad. Some of these stars turn into a black hole. When the fusion stops and they are no longer bringing things together, which in human parlance we call love, bringing people together, what happens is the process stops. The star shrinks and collapses under its own weight, and it becomes a black hole, never to be seen again, never to be heard from again, sucking in anything that comes within its orbit in negativity and causing that to disappear as well. And if a Jew, or if the Jewish people were ever to stop working on our goal of bringing people together, then the words of Mark Twain would come to an end, would mean nothing. We would then be in twilight. We would be like those other empires. Those other empires who tried to destroy us shared one thing in common. They came from a different place, had a different face, part of a different race, but they believed in the love of power, and we Jews believe in the power of love, and that's why we're still here long after they're not. Those empires came to an end when their physical power came to an end. But our people survived because of our ideas and because of the values that we ascribe to. And we're here tonight, my friends, on Kol Nidre, because the Kol Nidre reminds us, as do the candles and the shofar, of a are only concerned about ourselves, we become a small package, and that's not what Jews were meant to be. So I hope that on this Yom Kippur, this Shabbat, that we will burn bright with that power of love and be inspired by our ancestors who were so courageous against formidable odds and continue to live courageously as authentic Jews. Shabbat Shalom and Good Yom. Now I'd like to call up Suzanne Erstein, our president, for her comments and observations.